Yeah, buddy. What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Childish. We're back at it again. Episode 6 of Educate and Dominate. I'm here with a very, very special guest. This one here is going to inspire the uninspired. I have here Karanthir from Absolute Void. How we doing, Karan?
All good, thanks. How are you?
I am doing pretty good. Again, I just I'll be real like I do with my guests here. I'll be real with it. I just got done telling Corinne I just got done working out, and the pre-workout kind of kicked in a little later than it should. So I'm a little wired right now.
Yeah, I
But
can tell.
yeah, but it should be an interesting interview to say the least. So why do I say, guys? We are going to inspire the uninspired. Caranther is one of the few people out there that have been able to climb to the top and maintain the Guardian 1 and Guardian 2 rank and not have, the top 4 top 5 units in the game. He's been able to collect the runes, taking the knowledge and put it to good use so that he can, get up there right to the top. So since we do know that you are, with the group Absolute Void, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself as far as what you did, how'd you get into the game of Summoners War, your guild, and then we'll go from there.
Well, in previous interviews I've seen whole histories of gaming. My gaming history is the usual one, just Diablo, Dota, Warcraft 3, World of Warcraft, League of Legends,
There you go.
tiring up with all the games, then just Summoner's War.
Gotcha.
That's pretty much all I play right now. I got into the game in August, so pretty kind of early. A friend of mine just was here for summer, and the game was pretty big in his country, so he was like, "Oh, do you want to play?" Got hooked. uh, I didn't want to spend too much, so my progress was a bit slow. But I was blessed with a Wind Phoenix Tesher really early in the game. I got him off a Magic B2 scroll at level 12.
Wow, you got
Yeah, well, all my Nat fives have been like all three of them have been from like non-purchase scrolls.
cool.
Uh, yeah, and yeah, slowly went through the whole imp thing in October and November and the start of December until they changed the. I don't know if you're familiar with that. They used to giants were different and dragons as well.
Yep, yep.
So you had this gimmicky team that you could use to do B10. Anyone could do it. Like it didn't matter what units you had. Same for dragons B10, but that was so slow and gimmicky that like nobody farmed dragons pretty much. It
Right,
was
right. I don't think
not
anyone
very
what
worth it.
people were doing maybe what B8, B9, but B10 was like no.
I was doing a bit of B10, but it was kind of stressful. Like Tesher and the three imps and Neil, the light fairy, made the giants so fast and easy. You couldn't auto things unless you had like double Hua back then.
Right, right. Yep.
Um, and yeah, and then just slowly worked my way up. I started streaming as well in January. Uh, Obviously, shout out to all my viewers and followers and people that helped me out. Um, and yeah, like I did a thing on February where I focused on giants for a couple of months. Got a lot of runes then. Uh, I already had some, but autoing it makes it much more sustainable and much more spammable. And then I started doing dragons. I was blessed with a Chow as well, so I that made it a bit easier. Though it's not like it wasn't it's so amazing that like he made dragons that easy for me. But yeah, I started doing dragons. Started doing dragons faster. Got better runes. Worked up the ranked. And that's
Right.
about it for my story. It's like there's not much to it.
Gotcha. And you kind of already went into that zero to hero kind of story where we talked about, where you kind of worked your way up from, the fighter to the guardian, the
Mhm.
process of what you do in the giants. Now, of course, once you get those, those runes, you gotta, line up your units and kind of try to make it work or whatnot. For some people out there, they feel that they have, how do I say? they need certain units to get the job done, and I believe you're one of the few out there that was able to do it. Even though you did, were blessed with a test run, you were able to do it with a wide variety of rooted units. So I kind of want to talk about some of those units here. First off, actually, why don't we kind of talk about, since we're on the topic of the Dragons B10, one of the first units that I kind of wanted to talk about is the Kernodon. Now, Kernodon is the water lizardman. There's a lot of people that summon it, and there's a lot of people that are like, oh, this is my next evolution material for the 4-star. But you chose
It's
otherwise,
farmable.
so
It's
right.
farmable actually
Oh, okay,
from a rune or something.
gotcha.
Somewhere in the new area. Uh, so yeah, Kenodon. Um, well, there's not much to say. His skill set is pretty straightforward. He just puts. I think his first skill, all the Lizardman's first skill, is pretty amazing. It does have a slightly lower chance of actually activating, but there's something immensely satisfying about your Lizardman putting a defense break and 2 dots up on a target.
Oh, for sure.
Uh, yeah, his second skill scales of defense and debuffs on the enemy. So it puts a AOE 3-turn debuff. So it's only on a 3-turn cooldown. So if you're on violent as well, that's even faster. He's a defense scaling monster, so he scales off defense very very well. You put three defense runes on him. He basically takes no damage in dragons. He dots a lot. Well, he was in my first comp for dragons that lasted for quite a while, pretty much until I got Vertihile. I was using a dot comp with a Rezer, and yeah, Keranodon was a very, 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 like, his passive is useless for dragons, but he was a very, very integral comp of it. He does a lot of AoE damage, so he can help you through the waves. He has a defense break, so you don't need Bella. I only brought Chloe with as a healer, and yeah, that's about it for him as far as as far as dragons are concerned.
Good deal. And I bet it even made it a little bit nicer once you got Chow to take advantage of that 50% defense buff and utilize.
I was using Veromos.
Oh,
The HP it was better, but yeah, the defense buff isn't too bad either.
right, right. We'll definitely take that one. So I'm kind of moving on to the next unit. We got, speaking of dragons, this is all kind of tied into Dragons B10. So Dragons B10, back in the day, it was, Konamiya that was kind of the end all be all unit to provide that ability of, providing the cleansing and whatnot, the healing to get the dots off and whatnot. Of course, Veramos came out, and that obviously, as we've stated in previous, conversations, that has changed the meta completely to the point where really only need, you really don't even need Kona. You could just utilize Veramos if you get yourself an adequate amount of speed on him, and a violence set to kind of tie it all together. Even though there's going to be some people out there that are kind of in your situation, and they say, oh, well, now I got a 6-star Konamiya, but I got Veramos now. I can't utilize him. I do believe, and I believe you believe as well, that the Konamiya still has a lot of use in the arena when it comes to attack gauge manipulation and whatnot. So can you talk about the usefulness of Konamiya in terms of arena offense and Guild Wars, offense or defense?
Sure, but firstly, let me go into Konamiya and Dragons. Konamiya is still very, very relevant in Dragons, especially if you couple it with a Veramos. You essentially need no healing. Like, there's no damage to be done. One of the comps that I suggest to my viewers a lot, and it's pretty much free to play. It's really easy to make. You just take um, Beretta, Veromos, Bella, Konamiya, and the fifth one can be any Rezer you might have. If you have a Brienne, if you have a Chloe, she works too. You can fuse a Keen and go with it. And that comp is you go right tower, then boss. And that comp just clears Dragon very efficiently, quite quickly for a new player. And yeah, it works very, very well. So yeah, Konamiya for Dragons is not dead. Don't despair if you have a 6-star one that you kind of don't use anymore, but and anyway, yeah, Veramos obviously makes it easier. But they make a good couple if you
Cool.
want safe.
Good deal.
And yeah, I also use them a lot for TOA 100, both incarnations of it.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, you said Arena and Guild Wars. he's definitely amazing in Guild Wars, where you like the best strategy in Guild Wars usually is nuke hard, finish it fast, because 3v2s are kind of they're very there's not that much res as well, and they're very hard to come back to. So if you just nuke one monster with Konamiya's research, or if you speed tune it, like you hit with your nuker, then you resurge him, and then he nukes again, and GG. You're
Yep.
left with two or one monster against you, and it's easy.
Yep.
So he also has a cleanse. He has the chance of violent. He has a stun that seems to stun all the time. So yeah, Guild Wars definitely a good choice. Even for defense, I've seen some Konamiyas that have been good in defense in Guild Wars. Um, for arena, as usual, protect. He's good with protect comps like Rezer, Bella, Kona, Nuker. I used to run that in Kong 3 and low Guardian. My defense couldn't hold Guardian back then, but I could definitely hit like Guardian 2 with offense and then just start dropping.
Gotcha. And with regards
Yeah.
to some of the units there that are, we spec, Rage Blade, Violent Blade, or whatnot. Obviously, our goal is to get some speed subsets in there to make it fast. But if you don't have it, Kona can definitely, incorporate
Mm-hmm.
a way of, basically getting his gauge up to the top and doing what you need to do to get the job done. Have you found any other usefulness aside from Arena and Guild Wars? Anything other, random that has been kind of beneficial to your coming up in the ranks?
Any other monster or
No,
Konamiya?
no, 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 Konamiya, because you got yourself like
Mm,
let's talk runes. Like we got Violent Door, which is definitely a strong thing. Resistance is a very very important thing when it comes to the dragons. But I do see people utilize Nemesis quite a bit as well. Do you think Nemesis is a good option for that, and what do you recommend for your viewers? For your viewers, fail for your viewers that are coming up in the ranks and maybe they don't have the best runes. What are some options if they don't have the violent for it?
well, in general, Swift is a good replacement for Violent. Um, on the arena thing before, remember that you should definitely try to speed tune your Konamiya to be slightly slower than your nuker. Like, so that's why you need some speed on your nuker so that if your nuker is at 130 and your Konamiya is 129, 128, that's pretty good because your nuker goes and then Konamiya will resurgence. You have a double nuke essentially. Anyway, back to the runes. Swift in general, as I said, is a pretty decent and a bit more reliable replacement for Violent. My Konamiya used to be Swift Energy, and he was doing the job just fine. Resistance is a thing for dragons. Like the whole thing is, you don't want your Dispeller to die off a defense break or get dots and die. It's a remnant of before Veromos times when I was using Konamiya for dragons. Um, Now resistance, it's good in PvP because he doesn't get stunned that much, so he can dispel the others if they get stunned. But like resistance is a bit iffy. Uh, like if something has a lot of accuracy, it seems to just land it whatever the resistance is.
Yeah, yeah, that's
So
it's
yeah.
definitely it's definitely changed. Since the game has started, that's for sure. Um, Moving on, the next unit that I kind of wanted to talk about that you have, and I'm glad you have it, is Jojo. Now, there's a lot of units out there that fusible units out there that in addition to Veramos that can be utilized well. With the addition of the change when it comes to the bombs, should everybody take the opportunity, take the time and effort to go ahead and fuse this unit? As I believe now, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, as you did with what is it, Konamiya there. Correct me if I'm wrong on this one, but I think the value of JoJo has definitely increased with the opportunity to stun with those bomb lands with regards to travel ascension. So talk about that and how it could be useful there.
Uh, if not for Jojo, let's start with that. I would not have cleared TOA as early as I had. Not this like back in February. Because I had primarily wind monsters and stuff, so his bombs and his dots and like I used third skill, then Konami yed him with research them, and then Konami yed him, wow, and then just bombed. So that helped a lot with damage, and he was fire, so he could survive a bit better than like a Teshar. So he was one of the reasons I got TOA that early, so that definitely helps, even before the bomb stunned. Now, bombers have fallen a lot out of the meta because of Veramos. I think
Correct.
they're pretty bad in PvP now, even though the bomb stun, because everybody and their mother has a Vero. TOA, they remain good. The meta and like TOA normal has become easier and easier for people to finish, like the slightly older people, and the focus is on TOA hard, where hard is not that dots are not that great. No, bombs are not that great in hard because the monsters have monsters HP, and dots are better. But for the new player, if your focus is TOA, then I would definitely recommend the Jojo. It's or any bomber like the Win one. I have two of them, the Malaka and Jojo. I don't really use them anymore, but they're definitely. I am me. Like I've moved past bombers. They're definitely going to help the newer player in TOA.
Good deal. Very, very strong unit indeed. And then the last but not least, I kind of wanted to touch on since everyone got the opportunity to get it about a month ago, or excuse me, I want to say about 6 weeks ago, is Jubel. I made a video a while back with regards to this. I believe that, Jubel, I don't want to say, I said it's the next big thing. I believe it has so much value in the current meta of so many light-based, units that are utilizing the arena defense, Darien, Bella, whatnot, that I find that being able to control the defense breaker is nice. Now, while a lot of people will go real quick with trying to put a violent revenge on it, and some may consider it to be optimal. You kind of gone a different route. You stepped out of that comfort zone and you went with an all out revenge kind of talk. So can you talk about that? Is it just a new style, or is it just kind of come down to those are the runes you had, or and you just
No,
utilize
no,
them?
no. I have plenty of violence. The thing is, there's one thing I mainly want Jubel for. Start with that is guild offense. You see in guild offense mostly there's like one light monster in one of defense, one in the other. So I have Veromos for one of them. I want Jubel for the other one so that I can bring my nukers more into it without being afraid of I'm gonna be defense broken and destroyed. And revenge will help me like a full revenge build will allow me to defend to be able to defense break everything and also taunt like don't waste a turn defense breaking, and then I can taunt and CC a unit help me out in the offense.
Got
As far as the arena meta that you said, because of Veramos has had a huge impact on the PvP and PvE meta, but let's talk PvP.
okay.
Because of Veramos, the light units on defense become less and less. So the thing is, they're still there because they're easy to find and pretty strong units for candidates for AD. Um, so because of that, and until we walk away from that meta, because we will get other units to use as defense breakers, etc., etc., Jubel will be a decent AO unit. Probably, maybe better than Darien, for example, or well, Bella. Depends on what healers you have, but he might be a decent AO unit. On AD, myself, I think Jubel is a joke because I just used the Sarian for him, the Fire Ifrit, and he just becomes a squishier Darien because he has very low base HP, so he's hard to build very tanky.
Right, right, right.
So he has his pros and cons, but overall, if you're concerned with PvP, he's not a bad unit to build. Like pretty much all I'm building right now is PvP units. I have my Dragons team, I have my Giants team, and I'm just experimenting with stuff. And Jubel has so far he's done well in guild offense, so I'm happy with him.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Before I switched around my runes, I had him on double revenge, and I found that he worked really well.
Oh, I
Um,
had yeah, I had him on Double Revenge Nemesis, but I was like, he's so squishy. Nemesis is not working that well. Just go
Yeah.
triple revenge, YOLO.
Yep,
Yeah.
YOLO that shit. But now, do you find that with this kind of setup, I don't know if you take it versus teams that do have the Veramos and have that ability to, remove the harmful effects. Now, of course, you can't have the Saurian, your fire for it in both, right? You're going to use, one for another, or and one and Jubel for the other. Do you find that you're able to keep the defense break pretty much on all the time because it's constantly counterattacking and counterattacking? Do you have any issues with that?
No, it's actually really good because he keeps counterattacking the light monster. So he just keeps the defense break on that one, and if I want, I can choose then because the monsters are attacking him. So he has his taunt pretty much always on cooldown, off cooldown. So I can choose if I want to defense break another unit or taunt. Uh, if I usually bring like if I see a Veramos on the opposite side, I either bring Teshar to one shot him or Tessarian to silence him and one or two shot him. So the keeping the defense break up is not really an issue because it just silences Tessarian or Veramos or kill him.
Cool. And one thing we were talking about with regards to these runes is, this video will come out here probably with about 2 to 3 days before our first rune removal day in a long time. And
Hmm.
we were just talking on the side about how, some people, wait for that last minute to go ahead and change the runes. But you actually have a different, process when it comes to rune removal day, and you believe that even though it is relatively cheap, right? Because there's no money involved. You, on the other hand, do save up your money to go ahead and change a few things. So, can you talk about your aspect, what you do on Root Removal Day, and how it can benefit some of the viewers for you?
Yeah. I told you. I told you before that yeah, people think rune removal is free. I respectfully disagree. You use so much money on rune removal because you will discover suddenly all those plus not unenchanted, completely unenchanted runes that you have that actually fit the new build that you have worked out for your X monster. So you will have to, you will end up upgrading so many runes and using so much money. So do save definitely until rune removal because you will need it. Also, another thing, don't ever use your energy on rune removal. You will test out so many builds on dragons, on giants. You don't want to, excuse the French, fuck up the speed of your team, for example, because then you might, I don't know, get uh, destroyed by the dots on the dragons. I don't know. So do save your energy for testing. Uh, yeah. So that's the easy advice. Now for what I do, even before what I used to do is I have this little spreadsheet where I just before rune removal, way before like today, for example, today is Monday. So on Monday, let's say the rune removal is on Saturday. From Monday onwards, I just test out all those different runes that I have that or I could put on my monsters and check out their stats. Remember which runes I put where and try to find out the optimal builds for them, depending on a priority that I decide and the runes that I do want to put on them. And that all changed when Barian became like a. He was always a good acquaintance, but then he became a friend, and he started sharing and a guildie, and he started sharing the his spreadsheet, his infamous spreadsheet
The
with the guild.
infamous spreadsheet. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, yeah, and that spreadsheet is just
Sick.
yeah, he has this amazing algorithm. As Mevrid said in his interview, he's amazing at theory crafting. He has this algorithm that finds out the potential of the rune based on its stats, and then it ranks it up. And you input your monsters, and then you say what runes you want on them, and it kind of gives you in a ranking order the runes you can put on that monster for that slot according to how good they are stat wise. So
Right.
that like you can do rune removal in that spreadsheet any day of the week, and then just go on rune removal and instantly just bam 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 change all your runes.
Yeah.
Really easy.
That is crazy.
So that's what I do. I don't know if you have access to Baron spreadsheet, but trust me, you don't need it. Like if you, that's like it's a lot of work. It's not that as easy as I describe it, but I do suggest making a sort of like just write down what you want for each monster and keep in mind your best runes and try to optimize optimize your runes and try to find to know what you want to do by the time you wake up on removal and start working on your monsters.
Definitely.
That's pretty much it.
Alrighty, and the next question is the fun one. We got to get it out there. So if you've been following my channel for a while, we got ourselves that epic fail community that embraces failing on a regular basis. And actually, before I even get yours out, we'll go ahead and get mine out. So because obviously you were the one that reminded me to kind of do this. For those that have been watching these videos, we've had a couple of a couple of people that were interviewed that even though they sound fine to me, they sounded like they were in this
Really
uh,
deep well.
right. So they had themselves some awesome echoing and whatnot. And of course, before I got into this interview and stuff, I didn't have any experience when it comes to Skype. When it comes to Skype, so um, Karan was just like, dude, do you use a head? Do you use a headset? Like, no. Like, who does that? Like, everybody. So of course I have him talk. We do a little testing, have him talk, and I tried it with him without the headset. I'm like, wow, like how embarrassing is that? That's an epic fail for you. But let's see if you can best that. Give me your best epic fail in this game. Now you can't use you can't
You
use.
know,
Go ahead.
we'll do a little game. You look at. I have laid out. I usually keep my stuff in storage so that I have a nice clean box of the monsters that I actually use.
Right.
But I will let you peruse my monsters and guess. You have two guesses
I
of the most epic fail I've
well
done in this game.
here's the thing. Like I thought I actually here's the sad thing. Like I don't know. I think this is one of the two, right? Because I'm actually the whole time I was clicked on Julie, and I seen her. I seen her, and I said, okay, he has vampire. He has vampire. So yes, she can solo Faimon Hell. But I also see a 6-star McKean up in there, and I mean that could still be useful if you do have Violet Runes, a high crit rate or whatnot. I mean I think it could be useful for Trial of Ascension, but those are the two that kind of jump out at me. I'm taking a look now. I don't
Look at
see.
my Brian though. That's why my king is like that. Look at the
Oh,
Brian.
let's take a look at the Brian. So the Brian, I mean Brian and me, I mean, I don't think 6-star and Brian is an epic fail. I mean, Despair is a great
No, no,
chance.
no. That's why my keen is.
Oh,
No, like the funny thing is that I actually count Brian Sextari Makine as a bigger epic fail than Julie. Julie actually helped me a bit when I used to Runer Despair, and she helped me a bit in the fire heavy floors in TOA. So she was not that bad a 6-star. So though she was pretty bad.
Right.
Um, the vampire thing is just a project. It's just pretty much a rune mule right now. Um, I think my keen is my first biggest fail.
Yeah,
Because
buddy.
I had just gotten Brienne like 2 days before, and I had him 5-star and ready to be 6-star. Then I 6-starred my keen and Brienne,
Oh my
and I
God.
was like, why? And Veromos was coming out, so I had to build another my keen
Yeah,
as well.
dude. Oh, it's gotta be
Uh,
so rough.
and the second biggest fail is that I foddered the Brienne. Wait, Brienne was my first 4-star, right? Back in August.
Okay.
He was my first ever 4-star. And back then, Rezer was like, Rezer. There was no TOA. There was nothing like that. Like Rezer, not
Right.
really. I don't care about no Rezer. And I actually fed a couple of Devilmons in him, and he was level 35, unawakened. I hadn't awakened him yet, but because I had Tesha and Charlotte to awaken and Shimmy, they were like, I needed 50 highs as a level 15 player,
Oh my
20
God.
or something. Anyway, and eventually I got tired and I fed him, which is, I still consider that to be my biggest fail to date
Okay.
in this game.
Nice. Very nice.
Thankfully, I got another one, and even more thankfully, Come to Us gave me a Death Knight dungeon, of which I farmed like 25,
That's
and
crazy.
yeah, and I almost max skilled my second Arnold as well, and I never used them since, which is another funny story. But oh well,
Yeah. And so to kind
yeah.
of wrap it up, let's go ahead and bust. I know you did a couple of shout outs early on. Let's go ahead and give some shout outs to anyone out there. And obviously you got your Twitch stream. You want to hit up everybody with regards to your channel, so that they
Oh, you
can.
can link that in the description. Always, obviously, thanks to people that watch me when I stream. I started streaming regularly now, and it's nice to get the support from lots of people that come see me. Obviously, shout out to my guild, Absolute Void. We got rank 6 this week. Yay!
Yeah,
So
buddy.
good. All the friends like Scat and Darian that have helped me a lot. Uh, yeah, that's about it. And
And
thank you for the opportunity as well.
oh no, it's without a
Yeah.
problem. Like I said, it's not even about get how do I say it was almost like it needed to be done. Like it's not about sometimes it's not about what how do I say it's there's not too many opportunities that you get to see people climb up the ranks and everyone wants to be able to get up there, but everyone thinks that you have to have this amount of money, you have to have these 4 units, this and that, whatnot. So when I heard your story, I was like, oh man, we got to get him on board. So I do appreciate your time, as I know
No
you're
problem.
you're 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 a very busy man. So as far as call outs though, we've already had, Barian called out, so you can't utilize him. If there was, since you do have the knowledge and you have a wide variety of people that you communicate that have knowledge, great knowledge as well, if you were to call out somebody, who would that person be and why to do an interview on?
Hmm. That well, I know you're prepping trolling for one, but I would definitely recommend him. He's pretty interesting. Um, hmm. I don't know. I would say trolling.
All right, all
I,
right.
w- I would I would I'll go the easy way
You
out
go the
and pick
easy way.
trolling.
That's all right.
Yeah, yeah. No new guys, no new guys. There are a lot of really easygoing and knowledgeable guys in Channel 65 that you can hit up. Maybe it will be interesting in an interview. But yeah, trolling is definitely like you should all you get is global people. Let's get some Asia in
Yep,
here.
yep, yep. We'll definitely have some Asian people by the end of the week. So, or
Awesome.
people from the Asian server.
Yeah, no
But yeah,
spoilers.
yeah,
No
yeah,
spoilers.
yeah.
I'm
No
not gonna
spoilers.
spoil
We're not gonna spoil
it.
it. But all right, guys, that is it for the episode 6 of Educate and Dominate. Again, thank you, Karanthir, for all your time. Thank you all for tuning in. It's your boy Childish and Karan with Childish Plays checking out. Take care. We will see you next time. We're out.